All right, welcome everyone to Fun and Effective One-to-One Meeting. I haven't done this one in a long time, but we are getting a lot more new members on here. So I thought it was kind of appropriate to do this now. So what is a fun and effective one-to-one? So first off, I don't know what happened to my screen. Hold on. That is so weird. My name is Cherri Pedrioli. For those of you who don't know me, I am a member just like you on Alignable. I've been here. I actually started with them when they first launched, and then I left because there was really nothing here. And I came back around 2020 when my friend Sue Brook and I were doing masterminds on here when the pandemic hit. And then, of course, if you know Sue Brook and her story, or don't know, she co-founders found her when we were doing the masterminds and wondered how she was getting so many people to our event. Long story short, she is working with them now, traveling in her motorhome. You'll hear a little bit about that story, but I own multiple businesses, and one of the things so I'm a relationship marketing expert, and I built my businesses based on that. And so this fun and effective one-to-one kind of ties into it. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first off, I'm going to tell you some fun facts about me. And again, my name is Cherri Pedrioli. I own several businesses, like I just said. I am super passionate about relationship marketing. My favorite color is purple. You'll hear another story about that. I love my convertible bug. Got a story to be told there too. My favorite place to be is at the beach. I could be at the beach all day long, every single day. Favorite food is Mexican food. Love Mexican food. I can have that probably, I don't know, 5 days a week. I love to travel. It used to be only by cruising because I was really afraid of flying. For some crazy reason, I developed this fear of flying. And then, but I'm so grateful for the connections I made right here on Alignable by getting to know people, getting to know this one particular person, that I was able to really dig deep into a relationship. And that's why I call these fun and effective, because you really want to know who the people are before you start doing business with them. But anyway, long story short, I'm flying now. So thanks to Michael. I love hanging out with family and friends. I love entertaining. So I'm a huge animal lover, cats and dogs. I have one little old man left, my little dog, my little Chihuahua, he's left, the last one. And I love real authentic people. People laugh at me when I say that. They're like, oh, aren't people all authentic? No, there's really a lot of fake people out there, and I can spot them. I love fruity drinks. I love playing games. So I am so happy that one of my grandchildren took after me, and he loves playing games. So, and I'm also super competitive. And when we go camping or even at our house, we play this thing called ladder ball. I'm really competitive with that. I live up in the wine country and recently just started drinking wine. However, I'm not drinking wine anymore. But that's an interesting story too. So why did I tell you that? You're going to know why. Okay. So today's agenda, I'm going to go over some do's and don'ts about one-to-ones. What is a one-to-one meeting? And if you see the numerals one-to-one, I just get really super lazy and I don't want to write it out. So a lot of times if I message people, I will write 1-to-1. So just so you know, steps for one-to-one or group networking, because your one-to-ones could potentially come from those group networking events. Where to have your one-to-ones. It's all about building the relationship when you are having those one-to-ones and then following up and staying top of mind. So that's our agenda. So let's get going. So we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts. I'm going to mix this up a little bit. So the first thing, you are on Alignable. It's a platform that is very different than anything else out there. So it's really important when you are networking here to understand Alignable's culture. Alignable is all about growing your network to grow your business, but you need to do it the right way. So this is not social media. It is not those other ones that I won't name any. So really important to understand Alignable's culture. If you haven't been to some of the trainings, go to alignableuniversity.com. But on the networking, some do's and don'ts. First thing, please do not go into a conversation and start pushing your product or service. Remember that we all have a product and service. We're all in business. Do make it about them first. So if you set up that conversation or set up that meeting with them, make it about them. I've had people who set up conversation or set up one-to-ones with me and immediately start pitching me. It's like, wait a minute, you said you wanted to get to know me, and then you just pitched me. So don't be a pitch slapper. It's not liked on here at all, and people will call you out. So when you go into these one-to-ones, start with some fun facts. Again, I'm going to bounce this around. Start with fun facts. That's always something to start the conversation going if you don't know how. And don't take over the conversation. I've had people that will go literally, I'm like 15 minutes in and they're still talking. It's like not even taking a breath. So don't take over a conversation. Pause. Don't be rushed. Take time to get to know people. Do not be preoccupied. I use Sue and I did a skit when I first started doing these. We both know somebody, won't mention any names, who every time that she would set up a one-to-one with people, she would become really preoccupied. It's like, okay, sit down. She'd start talking about, oh, how are you? How you been? And then immediately she would get up and she would go get coffee. She would go get some food. It's like, okay, I'll be right back. Then she'd come back and she'd go, oh, so what was that you were saying? And then she'd take a phone call. And it's like, this is all during a one-to-one. Don't do that. This is, if you're really serious about building a relationship, meeting people, understanding what they do, seeing if you guys are potential referral partners or customers, be engaged. So stay focused and engaged. Set that time aside. I can't tell you how many times that happens. Actually, I need to take this off because you can't do it anymore. So slide outdated. You used to be able to schedule a virtual one-to-one in our messages on Alignable, but they've taken away that feature. So set up your time with people. Use your Calendly link if you have one or another booking calendar. However you do that, just get those appointments set. Have fun. When you have fun in these one-to-ones by getting to know people, it's going to lead to future one-to-ones, which is, I promise you, will lead to referral partners and customers. Just know that it takes time. What is a one-to-one? One-to-ones are for building relationships. I'm not telling you all stuff you don't know. You all know this, right? We're all in business. This is a networking platform. But sometimes it just needs to be reiterated in a different way from somebody different. It's all about building relationships. It is an opportunity to always get to know people on that personal level and business level. And it takes time. And I'm going to give you one of my best examples of that is when I met Sue Brooke. So she came into town after, if you haven't heard her story, she met a sister on Ancestry and she moved up here and she didn't know anybody. And I happened to see a post on Facebook and it said, hey, I'm new in town. I'd love to check out some networking events. So I saw it. I thought, well, I'll reach out. I was part of BNI at the time. And I said, why don't you join me as my guest? I belong to one of the largest BNI chapters in Santa Rosa. We set the date and time. She goes, great. How will I know you? I said, I have purple hair. She goes, oh my God, so do I. I started with the fun facts when I started this presentation because it does a couple things. You want to look for commonalities in people. So Sue had purple hair too. So there was commonalities right out of the gate with her and I. We had something crazy as our hair color. She attended my event. We decided we wanted to get to know each other a little more. So we actually started networking together. We started going out to different networking events. I hadn't been out networking in a really long time because one of my businesses, I was behind the desk and I was working. And I didn't have to go out and network with that particular business. And that's in a whole nother training because my customers became our referral partners. I didn't have to network. Anyway, so we started networking, getting to know each other more, and she found out that I also had a healing practice. So I own a plumbing company. I had a healing practice. She's like, oh my God. She goes, you have to write a book. And I said, I'm not writing a book, Sue. I don't, I'm not a writer by any means. She goes, no, but your stories, everything that you just told me in this healing world, she goes, people need to know that. So anyway, argued with her for a while. Long story short, we wrote a compilation book with 19 other authors all around alternative and holistic healthcare, because that is my passion, educating Western medicine. So we started doing business together, and this all came from a networking opportunity. Then we started the masterminds in person. So those in-person masterminds that we now do on Alignable, and we've been doing them almost for 4 years. It's just something that her and I have continued to do. We still do business together. We still refer each other business. And the really cool thing, remember I said I love my convertible? So commonalities, fun things, that bug was Sue's. So when she actually took the job with Alignable, she told Alignable, she says, my dream is to drive around the US and Canada in my motorhome helping small businesses. And they're like, let's do it. So she came to me one day. She says, I have to sell my bug. You need to buy my bug. She goes, I can't tow it behind my motorhome that I'm getting. And I said, no, I don't want your bug, Sue. I have a car and I'm kind of not a bug person. So long story short, one day she's getting ready to leave and kind of wrapping things up. And she goes, let's go to lunch and go shopping. So she picked me up and we're walking out. She goes, you drive. I'm tired. I've been driving a lot. I don't want to drive. So it was a beautiful day in Santa Rosa, California. So we drove around with the top down. Guess who owns the bug? Didn't think I was a bug person, but anyway. So now she gets to drive her bug whenever she's back around. So make things fun, because when you make networking fun, I'm telling you, that's where the magic happens. So what are those steps for networking? People coming in. It's hard to do this. Is pick a place. Whether now, when we did this, the pandemic was going on, so we had the luxury of Zoom. I am actually grateful for that. I have met the most amazing people right here on Alignable. I've left BNI after 10 years. I hang out right here on Alignable, online and offline, because I'm one of the founding ambassadors of the ambassador program. And I get to network in person and online. So, but pick a place. And if you're meeting in person, hopefully you're out there supporting a local business. Have icebreaker questions. Again, don't go in there and start pitching your business. Business is going to come up. The conversation with business is going to come up. But if you can let it come up organically, that is probably the best relationship you're going to have for customers and potential, or referral partners and potential customers. Again, if you're the one setting the appointment, setting the meeting, always make it about them first, please. Do not make the appointment with them and then start talking about yourself. That's icky. Make it about them. And then don't sell. Don't sell, especially on that first. Because we all have a product and service, but people buy us. And we don't know that they need your product and service. I have companies that will come after me constantly. And it's like, well, I know you need my product. I do not need your product. You don't know who they are until you find out who they are and everything about them. Then and only then will you even know if they need your product and service. So don't sell. When you go into these one-to-ones, you also want to think about who you can connect them and refer them to. So think about the referral partners. Again, I do another whole training on that about, because like I said, I didn't network. I didn't have to, because I had built these relationships in a strategic way that my customers became my best referral partners. So I didn't have to go out there and keep networking. But now you can't stop me. I've shifted direction. So what are those icebreaker topics? That's something that people always ask me. Things like, what do you do for fun? What are some of your hobbies? Just think outside of the box that has nothing to do with business. And I will tell you the hobby one, that has been so interesting following right here on Alignable when I was doing, hosting the Smart Connects and Quick Connects, and people would come out of the breakout room and they're like, oh my God, I was just in a breakout room and we just found out that we love doing the same things. It happened all the time. So start with things like that. And then something you can also do is, what are you proud of? This is where you kind of get to talk about business, where you're not pitching them, but you're sharing something you're proud of. I'm proud that I said I was not a writer and I wrote a compilation book with something I'm passionate about. So something I accomplished. That led to other things with people that I had met. Goals. You can always talk about goals for personal and business. So I always like to share, because I said I'm a beach girl. I could hang out at the beach all the time. I like to take my travel trailer out to the beach and work. So other than my plumbing company, which now I can, for the most part, do that mobile too, because I've outsourced everything. I can kind of go anywhere. So my goal, which is getting closer, is to spend more time at the beach and work. So find out what their goals are. And again, it brings in the business aspect. Superpowers. Again, this kind of brings in some business. What are you an expert in? What skills do you have? Why are you an expert? How'd you get started doing what you're doing? Because it's not really that, it can give you the opportunity to pitch, but don't. But more, it's like you're educating. People want to be educated. And then another good one is, where do you network? Like I said, Sue and I started networking together. So that was important for me, for us. And I do this with a lot of other people. And where do you network? Chambers, BNI, Alignable. Where are you hanging out? Find out where they like to network, because maybe you can hang out with them, get to know them more. Virtual networking, you have it right here. Okay, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. So when you are going to these Smart Connects, the best piece of advice I can give you is please, please, please remember these words. Do not pitch. I talk to a lot of members. Again, I don't work for Alignable, but I'm a member and I have a lot of connections and I speak to a lot of people, and they've told me repeatedly that they leave some of the Smart Connect rooms because they're being pitched to and the people won't stop. So don't be that person. Be genuinely interested in who they are. You're in a breakout room for 7 minutes. Don't waste that 7 minutes pitching them. Take that opportunity to get to know who they are. And then that way you can discover if you want to have another conversation with them that's not 7 minutes. So be very strategic when you go into these Smart Connects. This, in my opinion, is a game changer. So how you act on Alignable is important. Always, always, always show up on camera. In the Smart Connects, you have to be on camera. Even when you're attending a training or an event, be on camera, because then you're seen. When the more people see you, the more they're going to remember you. So be that person that's seen and respected. So you're only very seldom will you see a quick connect. Like I said, if we have time today, we might do one, but mostly you're going to see Smart Connects. So that's where you get to go and meet all these people. So Alignable is such a great place to do all this. These are just pictures where I network, different places, different people, seminars. I've networked at seminars. Like I said, I'm a founding ambassador, so I spotlight businesses. We like to network there. I've hosted events at my house. I've done things for the community. So there's all kinds of opportunities to have a one-to-one. The important thing is to make it fun. So I like to network with my buddies, my referral partners. Love networking with my referral partners. Again, we've attended some seminars. This is Sue and I. We were on a virtual seminar. This is one of my referral partners, actually from my BNI group, and we became really good friends. And then we started camping together. So again, got to know them as a person, know what their business is. We became really good referral partners and then started camping together. That's us at one of our camping clubs playing bingo. Make it fun. Sue and I and another Sue did a photo shoot at a winery. We were just doing photo shoot just for fun, just something to do. But we were able to start networking with the winery, with the photographer, even some of the other people doing wine tasting. So you can have lots of one-to-ones, get to know people. You could golf, bingo, it doesn't matter. Go to dinner, network with the people next door to you. I don't know, just make it fun. These are some just more in-person ideas. We've done some networking in the park, music in the park. We gathered up a bunch of people that I know, like, and trust. And it's like, hey, I'm going to go down to Juilliard Park, listen to some music. You guys want to go? There we are there, somewhere right here, hanging out in the park, networking, building those relationships. Great referral partners here. These are just some of my other events. Educational moments are always an opportunity. You're on an virtual educational, but we have in person also. Those are all networking opportunities. See, these are some speed networking that I used to do many years ago. So I've been doing this for a really long time. And when you are out networking, please follow up with people and figure out a way to stay top of mind with them. The worst thing you can do is have that one-to-one, especially if you kind of liked each other. And it's like, yeah, there's a potential to have more of these one-to-ones. Figure out a way to follow up with them. I have a story or two or three, probably more, like 10 or 12, that there's a product at times that I have been very interested in, met people. We talked about it. It's like, oh, this is great. I've always been looking at this product and wondered what it's like. And it's like, okay, great. And they're like, let's set up time and then we'll get you started and see what you think about it. Okay, great. And nothing. I'm waiting for them to follow up with me because they said they were going to. A little bit of time goes by. I send a message, nothing. Well, I'm not going to chase people. 3 months later, I get this, hey, are you ready to do business? You ready to take a look at my product? 3 months. It's like, no, I moved on. I found somebody else that does what you do. So don't miss out on those customers or referral partners because you're not following up after your one-to-ones. Following up is so crucial to your business. And then find ways to stay top of mind. I'm a card sender. I send cards. I've done it my whole entire life. And I have a whole strategy how I use cards to follow up, to stay top of mind. I do that in another training called The Fortune is in the Follow-Up, how I use my system to land multi-million-dollar jobs, all by cards. So very simple, but find your system that works. And again, this is something that's always asked is like, well, how do I follow up and who do I follow up with and what do I do? And what do you mean stay top of mind? Thank people for the one-to-one, however you're doing it. Whatever your system is, thank them for that one-to-one. Holidays come around, send a holiday card. Birthdays, if you get to birthday, like one of my businesses, I have an intake form. And on that intake form, it is a place for birthday, anniversary, spouse's name. And I get that information. So they get cards. I send the just because cards. I send a lot of those. Grief and loss. Thanks for the referral. These are the biggies though. Thanks for the one-to-one and thanks for the referral. Or just because, thanks for hanging out. It was so fun to hang out with you at the whatever, right? Appreciate them. So I have a friend who always talks about just, what does he say? He says, more gets done when you're on page 1 with Google. Well, Google doesn't do it for me, but my tangible touch card system is my page 1. So that's just what I do. So more information about that, you can always go to cardsfromcherri.com, but that's not what this is. If you're new to Alignable, returning Alignable, to Alignable, not sure how to use Alignable, make sure you go to alignableuniversity.com. In person, networking, alignablealliance.com. And then if you have any questions about your accounts or your email's not working or something's not working, always support.alignable.com, and they will be able to help you. And as I said, I like to get these through really, really quick because I like to go into the Q&A and just kind of answer any questions as soon as I can figure out where the stop share. There we go. Stop share is, I know I went through that really quick, but I am going to reiterate, and I will keep reiterating how important it is to focus on building the relationship before promoting your business. Those conversations are going to come up. And the more people that myself and others who do a lot of training on here educate, more people are getting wind of it, and they're going to stop people from pitching them. Alignable is not that place. It is definitely, I know from a lot of very successful members on here, their businesses have grown exponentially because they're doing things right on Alignable, and it can happen for you too. So any questions I can answer about Alignable or what I just kind of spewed out? No? Go ahead, Evelyn.
I take issue with Alignable because sometimes the only relationship that's to be had is for me to hire the person that I'm talking to. And it's happened to me a couple of times where I've hired them, and the only relational factor is that they're quote unquote working for me. So we communicate over a specific business service that I'm receiving or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And is there, I don't know how to, I'm gradually getting over it. It almost made me not get premium this past year, but I decided, well, let me give it a more of a chance. But how do you bridge that? You know, if you, I think I have it. I was on a meeting yesterday, and there's a woman I met from New York who has a service that, yes, you know, my lawyers could use, but you know, she's in New York, so it'd have to be. So I'm just kind of feeling that out. But how do you? I can't. I think I'm coming close to it, but it's hard to latch on to this relationship thing without, you know, paying a dollar amount.
You don't have to, because I'm not, number one, I'm not going to fork out any money and pay anybody anything unless I've built that relationship first. And that's why I say relationships take time. So you have to be out there networking and meeting the right people and being strategic with who you're having your one-to-ones with. So it goes back to Alignable. You have to understand Alignable's culture. So be strategic in groups that you're joining. Don't just go out there and join every single group. Look at the group. Read about them. Are your referral partners hanging out in that group? Are your customers hanging out in that group? That's the first thing. Where are they hanging out? And then you just have to start networking and spending some time. Dedicate that time. Like I have on my calendar, my non-money making hours. That's my networking hours. So I'm going to go out and network. But it takes a lot of networking to find those people. But I never, ever will hire somebody after the first time I've met them. I will not do that.
Right.
And I don't encourage that on this platform or any other platform. You really need to get to know who you're working with. Because
I felt bad about, you know, turning, you know, people that initially I like their energy, their product is something, you know, I could or could not use, and then I go, well, wait a minute, I don't have the, $1,000+ to invest in your services right now, but,
Mhm. Yeah,
you know,
yeah. You just
yeah.
want to be really strategic, but it does happen. But again, it's, it's, you got to put yourself out there and just network more.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Danielle.
Hi, to piggyback off of what Evelyn said, I can say there are times when I do the smart connects and can you hear me by the way?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Really sure. But yeah, so there were times when I did smart connects and I really just genuinely want to get to know others, but then they'll like jump in and automatically say, so what do you do? And they'll introduce like what they sell or what service they provide. And we don't really stick to the question that was asked beforehand. So I've noticed that happens a lot. And so is there a way to like not steer the conversations to that direction? Because I don't really want to introduce myself in a way where I know the conversation is going to be talking about our businesses
Yep.
instead of.
Yeah. No, I love this question. I get this a lot. And I don't like it when I go into the Smart Connects because I've been attending some lately. And it was the same thing. Oh, so what do you do? I said, no, you know what? Let's stick to the topic. We were given a topic. Let's stick to that. And if we have time and if we resonate with each other, we'll book another, one-to-one. I stop it. And then, like I said, there's been times that people will not stop that I've actually left the room. And I said, if you don't stop pitching me, I'm going to leave and I'm going to report you. Because that is not what this platform is all about. Alignable is against the spam behavior. So a lot of times over the years, I've figured out, they're coming from other places. And especially in the products world, they're taught to do that. So we're just having to educate them. So I use every opportunity I can to educate. It's like, yeah, if you want to be successful on this platform, let's not pitch. Let's get to know each other. And then once we do that, like I said, that's why the icebreaker topics I use, it gives you a little bit of room. It's like, what makes you an expert in your field? You can do that without pitching. But yeah, don't ever, if you're in those smart connects and people are pitching you, you can kindly ask them to just go back to the topic or choose something like I talked about. Fun fact, hobby, what's your favorite season? What do you do in the snow? What do you do? Talk about things because we are human beings first. People actually, yeah, they appreciate it. I've had I've had a few people when I used to, because I started doing those quick connects, and then they'd say, well, but this is what I do. And I said, but that's not what you're going to do here, because if you do, you won't last here and you're not going to get customers and you're not going to get referral partners. I said, will you just trust me and do it my way? I promise you it's going to work. And then they come back and they're like, I'll get messages, I'll get, text and they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I had no idea. So you can always look at its opportunity because when you're educating, maybe there's a potential customer there. Maybe there's potential, you never know. All right. Is it Ariel?
Yes, Ariel. Hi, Cherri.
Hello.
Nice to speak with you. First, I just want to say this was one of the most insightful presentations that I've ever attended. I just thought it was brilliant. I'm pretty new to the space. Oh yeah, I absolutely loved it. I was, we're all used to the virtual environment, but then we're also used to many people being very distracted and multitasking. But I'm telling you, I was like literally riveted on every word you said because it was just so relatable and just so real. And I just love the message and the information that you've given us today. I'm a new entrepreneur, but similar to your background, I'm also in the health and wellness space. but never really did anything with that until literally the last few years. And I think I've only been on Alignable about a year and a half, but never did anything with it. Then I became an entrepreneur for a company, and I was very encouraged to get very involved in this space.
Mhm.
I think when you talk about the word smart, when you talk about the smart connects, are you talking about when you're invited to those sessions, those networking sessions where they do the breakout rooms? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm scheduled to do one of those sessions this week, and this is perfect timing. I just came into, I think I just joined the group that where I saw the presentation happening today, because I'm just trying to to build my experience as a business person. I think that's my greatest lack right now, is I'm not organically a business minded person. So this is all new to me. So I just wanted to tell you, I thought this was brilliant, and I look forward to more sessions.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, have fun in there. The thing is, have fun, get to know people. Just keep in mind, like I say it over and over, people buy people, not the product and service. So get to know people, build those relationships. And Smart Connects are a great way to do it. Just sometimes you just have to you just got to be the one to set the boundaries. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We're not going to do that. Let's go back to the topic. Or if they don't, there is no topic. Because some hosts, some people will not use an icebreaker topic. They'll just send you into the rooms. Now you have some ideas what you can use for icebreaker topics. I've given you a few. So use your own if you're not given one by the host. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, Evelyn?
I have one more. This may be a stupid question, but
No stupid
just
questions.
before
Those
just before joining this meeting today, I got a lead on a referral for my business, and I wrote them back. They said want somebody to do such and such, reasonably priced, who, and so I just wrote back and said I am a such and such, and I didn't list my price, but I said call me, but should I treat them like an alignable customer, with icebreakers and stuff? When it comes
I
back
do
to,
it with everyone, Evelyn, not just on Alignable. Everyone I meet, I don't care where I'm
Right.
meeting them.
Right.
Even my contractors. When my contractors, like I said, my contractors are one of my best referral partners, and they introduce me to other contractors. I do not
Yeah.
go in and start talking business. I go in and I want to get to know who they are. Do they share the same core values that I have? Are they really a contractor I want to work with? Even with my healing practice, are they a client that I think I want to work with? So
Right.
I am still, no matter where I'm networking, I'm building relationship, I'm learning more about them.
How do you segue from saying, yes, I've got the business, I've got, I have the service you need, but who are you? I don't know how to segue from I have the service you need, period. Next point, who
Yeah,
are you?
hey, let's set up some time to meet. Let's
Okay.
set up some time to meet and see if we're a good match. I'd like to learn a little bit more about you and your
Yeah.
business. So that's always a
Yeah.
really good, I'd like to learn a little bit more about you and your business. I never just say, I want to learn more about your business.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for all this very helpful information, Cherri. Thank you also for requesting my connection today. It was very, very nice of you, and I was really looking forward because I have meeting you indirectly in all the other calls, but so it was very nice to engage directly with you. And so while I was hearing all of what you're saying, is like about like going on a date kind of with somebody, right? So you don't start like, hey, I want 5 kids and I'm looking to marry within the next 6 months. And by the way, how well does your family, or do you have a house on your own, right? So you don't, although that might be important information for you at a certain point, it's certainly not why it's not the the things that you do opening the door, right? Like when you are on your first dinner. So you just try to find a kind of like a same ground, or like taste the water with this person and see, is it actually someone that I want to meet for a second time, right? Because it's fun, or because it's, I don't know, right? So, and I think people are sometimes so eager to get a business or to get a referral partner that actually maybe they might be, if the person is really in need of something right away, but that's not probably a connection that's going to last, right?
Yeah.
Rather, if I think, well, this person actually was nice or funny or just wanted to get to know me, right? Then I'm interested maybe in having a virtual coffee day with them and then see how it goes, right? Like really like on a date. So that's the way I used to compare it.
Absolutely. And me, it's like, and same with the marriage. You hope your marriage lasts, it's long term. I want those business relationships to last. So my training that I do, the fortune is in the follow-up, which I think I'm doing on Thursday. I talk about that, and the contractors. So everybody that I've done business with in my construction company, I've done business with for over 25 years. So I have those long-term customers and referral partners. And that is my main focus, is building those relationships to have those long-term customers. I don't have to keep going out and doing all the hard work, especially in the construction. But so I give a lot of examples in the fortune and the follow-up about that. It's more relationship stuff. Everything I do the event called What's Relationship Marketing Anyway. I do this Fun and Effective 101. I do the fortune and the follow-up. It all ties to relationship marketing and appreciation marketing. And that's what I do. And so I even have, and if it's stuff that you want to learn more of, I have one of the exclusive paid groups on Alignable that focuses on just that. So right now through the end of January, it's $29 to get in that group. And it is all focused on personal development and business development. It's not a big group like my construction group's got 87,000 people. You can't build a relationship with that many people. You can't network with that many people. So in the business relationship community, we really focus on who is your best customer, who is your best referral partner. We have a lot of different strategies that we work on in the group. We do masterminds in there, and then and there's a lot of exercises that we do on how we get to know each other on a personal level. So very transformative in that group. So like I said, I was pretty much, I think, born a relationship marketing expert. So I can't.
What's again the name?
I'll put the link in the chat. It's a business relationship community group.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, it's a lot. You're doing a lot deeper dive work. So I have, a lot of new businesses in there who are, trying to figure out who their ideal customers are, who are their ideal referral partners. So we dig, or they don't quite know how to network. Where are they supposed to go network? It's like, okay, I'm in, the financial industry. Where do I got to go network? So we do a lot of skill building stuff in there. So anyway, what other questions? Highly encourage you to check out the Smart Connects. You've attended my training, so you get to control the room. Is it Christina?
Hi, Cherri. We met yesterday, Christiana.
Oh, I said it wrong again.
It's all good. I brought the topics that we discussed yesterday to a coaching session with my field trainer. And he said that that would be the next level. Is I'm attracting a lot of attention with the networking groups that I've been a part of. I showed up from Austin, Texas to Denver, Colorado, and immediately started a business in a totally new industry. And I didn't know a soul. So my big homework assignment for the next quarter was to network and build a community because I didn't really have a warm market.
Mhm.
And so I became, well, they call me the networking queen. And I was having fun. I mean, because I wanted to build a community anyway. I'm
Mhm.
like a circus tent. You plant me and I'll build it, I'll build a home. And I've been really impressed with that. And I didn't really understand how much I had impacted until I went to various groups and I had people that recognized me cross the room to talk to me, hug me, invite me to another thing, blah, blah, blah. But what he was kind of criticizing in a constructive way was actually going to the next level with people. Like, I have no problems building relationships.
Mhm.
My brother assured me that I would not fail in my business because of that. However, being that next step of being direct and having the intention set at the beginning and the end, I follow up, I do those things, but to what end? I never want to be a salesperson, and I've had success because I haven't been. But my question is, what would be the next step beyond that relationship, the ask? And a lot of times I'm like, well, this might not be for you, but who do you know that could use this?
Mhm.
And being comfortable to say that without feeling like I'm, a sales slug, because
Yeah.
don't want to do that. And I think we're all here for that very reason, that balance, because it's a constant teeter. I mean, and I've sat in meetings where they're like, well, I'm Earl Shav and I can paint that nose for $19.99. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't need my nose painted. What are you doing? So it's just, finding that balance, because we all value what we do. It's our passion. And we
Mhm.
want to share that information. And our business is actually constructed for me just to be a professional inviter. I'm inviting you to get this information,
Mhm.
and you can do with it as you please, but I just want you to have this information. Well, how do you get to that next level? And I'm sorry,
No, that's okay. Again, it just knowing it takes time, because relationship marketing takes time over anything else. But there's going to come a point, because you're going to continue to weave the conversations with business. You're going to talk about it. And, and I think when I get what you're saying about the ask. It's like, know how I want to say this, and it's just I want it to come out right.
okay.
um I'm thinking about this because I was like, when you were talking, it's like I knew what was coming. Um
Oh no, I'm predictable.
yeah, no, no, trust me, I hear these all the time. It's
Yeah.
just, again, you're going to have to figure out the way to start weaving those conversations, talking about business. The biggest thing is, do they understand what you do? Are they understanding what you do? So that's another way to dig a little deeper. Asking them, do you understand what it is that I do? And then flip it around. It's like, and I want to make sure I'm understanding what you do. So really you're putting yourself out there in a good way, because you do want to understand them, and you want them to understand you. If they're not taking that next step after your ask, it's because they don't understand. They're not understanding what it is that you do. So it's having
Because
that conversation.
a confused person never goes to the next. Okay.
Yeah, if you've asked, it's either they're not interested, but yet if they're still hanging out and coming around for more one-to-ones, or they're wanting to get to know you, they just don't understand what it is that you do. So kind of start bringing that in there.
Okay. I like
I
that.
hope that answered.
No, that's true. I mean, when I taught kindergartners for a decade, you never make assumptions. Just because they're
Yeah.
nodding doesn't
Yeah.
mean they know what you asked them. And
Yeah.
but I had visual aids but so incorporating that visual aid, I mean, I do napkin presentations.
Mhm.
And so it's very similar, but I just didn't want to be demeaning or over assumptive.
Oh, make
So
sure, yeah, we always talk about Make sure a fifth grader can understand it. Or a
Okay,
second grader.
I love it. Oh, then this is perfect for me. Yay,
Yeah,
light bulb. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks for asking. Lena. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You got your mute button on.
Okay, I found it. So I don't know if that's right, and I also had like kind of like the same question as Christianity. What I normally ask if I mean if we have like a second or second one-on-one, and I mean you have the feeling, right, if someone is engaged or not. And then what I do is like to maintain this kind of relationship or connection. I tell them that I once a month send a newsletter that is not going to be spam or something, that is really information, helpful information, like for example HR alerts or payroll alerts, or because it is a new law that is out there, like really like things that people get and like, oh, I didn't know that. Or for example, our HR team within Harland, they do like pagers, a lot of an amount, like help like how to write a good offer letter, for like an offer letter that no one can refuse, and like tips like that. Or for example,
So Lena, you ask them if you can put them
I
in your
ask them if
campaign?
they are interested in getting these
Okay.
newsletters.
Yeah.
So then of course it's two ways, right? So ask if they are interested in the newsletter, and then sending the new letter, right?
Mhm.
And it could be like every second month, but just that helps. And when I send these newsletters, they're always like the same people, like, oh, thank you. Oh, I haven't forgotten you. Oh, by the way, I have this referral, or I spoke with that client. So because that keeps them in your mind. It's kind of like the card strategy,
Yeah.
but a
You
little
have
bit
to,
different.
yeah, stay top of mind, even if you're using an email system. And just because they're not interested right now does not mean they're not going to be interested later. I
True.
have sent email, whether it's my email marketing that goes out or my cards. It's actually my cards that got this last one. He's like, I've been receiving your cards for over 3 years. He says, I think I need to do this for my business. So you never know when they're going to be ready.
Yeah.
The point is to continuously build those relationships and just follow up and stay top of mind. That's why everybody I know, and you guys, I'm going to send a feedback form out, please fill it out. And I do ask for your mailing address, because I don't send that mailing address anywhere but to me, and I send you cards. And I thank you for being here. So if you want to see what the cards look like, fill out that feedback form. But more importantly, give me that feedback, because I want to make sure these events are always improve on them.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you.
And something else that I do is since my product is a software that is not complicated, but is comprehensive, right? Even though I ask them if they want to see it, and I see they I'm always like, hey, I know I have a very vivid language, but maybe to see something, it is more explanatory. It's just up to you if you want to see that in real life. Happy to do that. So then I give them the option to jump a little bit deeper or not. Some people say, hey, yeah, I would like to. Some others like, oh, you know what? No, no, needed. I got it. Okay, well, so that also helps to get a second or a third or a fourth meeting kind of with them. But besides that, Cherri, I'm very happy if you have, because I'm not a card person. So if you have other tips to kind of like step on top of their minds, I will be very grateful for that.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. We are up at the time now. I don't want to keep anybody, and I have to get to another meeting. So thank you so much. Again, if you're interested more on follow-up ideas, I'm doing Fortune in the Follow-Up. Just go into your events, search Fortune in the Follow-Up, and I believe it's Thursday. Tomorrow, no, that's tomorrow, right? Where'd this week go already? Oh my goodness. This year is already flying. Anyway, so I thank you for being here. Thanks for the great questions and advice that's been given. Appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Cherri.
You're welcome.